Welcome to the Sydney Cricket Ground for this playoff match for 5th position between Penrith and Manuwarringa. Both teams are level on 31 points on the Winfield Cup Premiership table, with Penrith moving to 31 with their win over Eastern Suburbs last Saturday, and Manly joining them when they defeated Cronulla at Brookvale on Sunday. They've met twice this year. Both times it's been a win to the Panthers, and both times by a margin of 12. The winner of tonight's playoff earns the right to challenge Parramatta here at the Sydney Cricket Ground next Saturday in the sudden death preliminary semi-final. The Penrith team lineup the same as Saturday: Lobb, Robinson, Izzard, Wolf, Gonzalez, Burns, Alexander, Clements, Howes, Zavanovic, Goodwin, Simmons and Gerard. The Manly team: Gurr, Bosted, close back to the centres with Shearer, Davis into the side, Luluwai 5'8", Hasler, Vaughton, Cleal to the second row with Ryan, Paulson, Cochrane and Goodway goes to the front row. The referee for tonight's playoff is Michael Stone. So Greg Alexander gets us off and running. Who will it be? Manly or Penrith to play on Saturday in the sudden death semi-final. And a kicking duel immediately in progress between Alexander and Vaughton. And Alexander has sent a runner from behind him. Ben Gonzalez coming from an onside position to make the tackle.
I think the most important section of this game for Penrith is going to be the first 15 minutes. Manly played a very tough game on Sunday, and I expect their condition to fade late in the second half. If Penrith can start well, they've got to be in with a big chance.
Penalty to Manly. Too much in the tackle, too much lying on the player against Clements. I'm pleased to say that the wind has tempered from last night, but still it's coming out of the Randwick end and favouring Manly naturally in the first half. Tap taken by Cochrane and Paulson. He went up strongly in the initial stages, but he seemed to soften. Ryan, a penalty goes to Penrith. Hey, Jobai was a bit intrigued there by what Jeff Gerard was doing. He looked like he cocked the elbow, and it was aiming straight at the chin of Ryan. See it again. I'm not prepared to take back the comment either. To the open side for Gerard to gain 7 metres. Manly did not move up to them on that occasion. Simmons back to the open side for Matt Goodwin. Around the legs is Paulson. Chris Close back in the line as it goes from Alexander to Izzard. He punches the ball into the in-goal area. A bad bounce, a try. Will he give it? No. Mark Robinson dived for it. It wouldn't surprise, or it would not have surprised to see it given a try. A delicate little kick off the boot of Brad Izzard. Keeping in mind the in-goal here is a very deep one, and Marty Gurg, a horror bounce. See it again, he did not force the ball in the correct manner. Manly now with the ball, Des Hasler. Vaughton, Zavanovic has blood pouring from a gash above his left eye. He's being taken off for, I would think, a running repair. There's the club medico looking at Zavanovic. It's a penalty to Manly with the breeze at their back. 45 out. It's a horrible kick by Cochrane. Very low. It hit the bottom of the upright. And Cochrane seems to have hurt his foot in attempting the kick, so he must have hit the soil behind the ball.
Mel Cochrane's a player who's been carrying leg injuries into the games he's played in the last few weeks. He's made it fairly clear that he has been having painkillers.
And again it's Izzard. He's recovered the ball from the kick. Brilliant individual performance by Izzard. Still going is Izzard. Bosted's got him. It's going to be a try. It is. Scored by Brett Lobb. What a magnificent effort by Brad Izzard. You won't see better than that under the heading of individual performance in the game of rugby league. He absolutely defied Kerry Bosted to tackle him. It was they've got a miraculous bounce, but then it was this effort here. Keep in mind that Bostead is one of the best defensive wingers in the game, and Izzard showed his power. The ball came off a Manly player, and Brett Lobb scores a fair dinkum rugby league try.
Well, Izzard and Alexander have worked up a tremendous combination over the last couple of years. This was a set play. Alexander indicated to Izzard he was going to chip over the top. Izzard followed it through, but this was a great effort. He was able to keep Bostead at bay for something like 20 metres, turned the ball inside, it came off close, and like a good fullback, Lobb was on the spot.
So Greg Alexander, the man who put that little chip over, is attempting conversion of his close friend's try. Kicking percentage for Alexander, 68%. Well down on that of Cochrane. Doesn't look bad, but he's just missed it. So the scoreline in the NEC Big Game Playoff, Panthers 4, Eagles nothing. 10 metres out from the line, Penrith looking for a berth in their first semi-finals ever. Gerard. Through Alexander to Izzard. A long cut-out pass out to Ken Wolfe. Inside to Robinson. Robinson's 9 metres out. It required Des Hasler to make a bootlace tackle to stop him. Close came over the top. It's gone to David Burns. Burns puts the hip into Lulawai. It goes to Simmons. It's gone across and off the hands backwards of Clements. And it's Clements now wrestling with the Manly defence. And that's 5 gone for the Panthers. Roy Simmons is the acting half. And there's the ball to Greg Alexander. He's able to get a grubber kick into that corner. And it's Des Hasler who's going to be tackled 2 metres into the field of play. Hasler left the Penrith camp to take up residence with the Manly team. A match with a tremendous amount of feeling in it for players like Hasler in the maroon and white, and Gerard, of course, in the chocolate and white, or brown and white. Lulawai across now to Shearer. Shearer over to Bostead. Bostead kicks into the centre of the ground. It's going to bounce near the halfway. And it's come off the hand of Brad Izzard. Did it? No, it came off a Manly hand. Well, he's ruled that Dale Shearer was in front of Kerry Bostead when he kicked the ball. But looking at that picture, he certainly was not. The penalty has gone to Penrith. Let's see what happens here. He must have...
He really deliberately knocked the ball forward.
All right, so there it is. There's the ruling against Dale Shearer for deliberately knocking the ball forward. It's with Simmons now. Now Clements. Simmons, they're really working on finding a hole in behind the ball when the two markers spray. Quite often you'll find an opening right up the middle, and Penrith are working for it. Izzard, Wolfe, and now Robinson, this big lanky wing three-quarter. Gee, he doesn't mind letting it all go. He certainly puts the pedal on the floor as it goes to Alexander. He cuts out one, picks up Zavanovic, and Zavanovic is tackled about 8 metres out from the Manly line. Zavanovic with the head heavily bandaged. Alexander, it came off a Manly arm. It's still play on. Well, he's ruled the turnover. He's ruled the turnover. It's a penalty to Manly. I fancy that he has claimed that the Manly player did not intentionally play at the ball.
But he did. It was Des Hasler who put his foot to it.
Tim Sheens, David Bolton alongside him. What a big occasion it is for the man at the helm. Coach of the year in '84. This is Paulson. 25 metres out from the Manly line. Lulawai. Now it's Noel Cleal. He was the man that really caused Cronulla all the problems, and this fellow was hunting off him, Des Hasler. Now there's an awful pass back meant for Gurr, taken by Vaughton. It's gone from Vaughton to Gurr, and Alexander was the man putting the pressure on them. Now it's with Brett Lobb. He opts to take it away, and he's up to the halfway line. Robinson held on the halfway line by Andy Goodway. Alexander, Simmons, back to Goodwin. That's the halfway line you see.
Matt Goodwin's one of the unsung heroes of this Penrith side. He does a lot of work up front, and they're just not the same side without him.
Alexander kicking in general play. Marty Gurr tiptoeing, flirting with that sideline. And again Alexander goes through, putting everybody onside and piling the pressure on Manly. Well, you couldn't have gone any closer to the touchline, Marty Gurr, that's for sure. Well, full marks to Alexander. His kicking game, his chasing game, it has put a tremendous amount of pressure on Manly. Vaughton, Shearer running away from David Burns, coming to Ben Gonzalez, inside and away to the halfway line. It's an urgent chase by Brett Lobb. Inside goes the ball. It'll still be play on. There's Hasler, picks it up to the 22 line, gets the pass away. Dale Shearer still there. Manly should score. The pass has gone astray. The final pass to Noel Cleal. Well, what a crazy passage of football that was.
I thought Manly could have done it a lot easier. There was a pass inside that was thrown over the top. It didn't find its mark, but my word, had it not been that pass and the simple one that was the first man inside, I'm sure it would have been a try.
Oh, I've got to say one thing, Michael Stones, he's had plenty of rules that we don't see applied all the time or frequently in the game of rugby league, but he's had just about all of them pulled out tonight by these two sides. Here's a penalty to Penrith against Paul Vaughton. You can always tell how fast a match is being played at by having a look at your referee and touch judges. And when they're giving off plenty of perspiration, you know they've been covering plenty of territory to keep up with them.
Penrith's tactics in this game are absolutely spot on. They're hitting the ball up through the forwards and they're making good yardage against Manly. And as soon as the opportunity arises to either kick or spread the ball, they're doing it.
Chance here, charge down by Goodway, chased by Izzard, Cleal's in the centre of the ground, but Izzard makes the tackle on Goodway. From Shearer, it's come across now for Cochrane. Cochrane has tackled, desperate stuff. Lulawai was knocked over in the back play. He hit the uprights in front of the Bradman stand. It's gone to Glenn Ryan. He passes the ball. It's taken on the bounce by Cleal. Cleal's tackled 12 metres out, gets it to Shearer. Shearer goes back to where the ball came from. And now he's hit by Dave Robinson, or Mark Robinson, I should say. Played by Dale Shearer. Across to Hasler, then to Lulawai, back to Hasler, and players now 18 metres out from the Penrith line.
Manly have made 3 clean splits tonight, but they haven't been able to get the ball over the line. Once again, their problem is not finishing off.
This man is Richie Paulson. 15 metres from the line, 4-0 in favour of Penrith. Manly on their last tackle. Paul Vaughton puts the ball in the air. It's not a bad one. Robinson is back there, takes it safely and takes it over the dead ball line. From Hasler to Lulawai, around the back to Gurr, and Gurr is tackled on the 22. The Penrith defence has been shattered a couple of times by Manly, but it was quick enough to recover just in time. Vaughton, another try-saving tackle by Brad Izzard. The ball played back to Cleal, fed to Hasler, on it goes to Lulawai, now to Ryan. Ryan gets his pass to Shearer. Shearer gets it back to Lulawai. He's on the 22 line. He dances across the ground. It's picked up by Goodway. Goodway is met by Izzard and wrapped up. And the Englishman, Goodway, playing in the front row, playing it back to the Queenslander, or former Queenslander, Richie Paulson. Back to Hasler. The chip across by Hasler is fielded by David Burns, and it's a penalty to Manly. They'll have to take the kick. Hasler was felled late by Matt Goodwin, and to a lesser extent by Ken Wolfe. Here's the kick by Cochrane. Oh, horror kick. And again he clutched at his leg. So Penrith 4, Manly no score. Alexander, Burns. Burns still going, and away to the 32. The dummy inside the 22. Hasler's got him. He passes. There's a knock on there from Penrith. Little knock on from Penrith. But Burns was able to get rid of Cochrane. Hasler pursued, and he forced David Burns into passing, and there was the knock-on. Hasler to play now. Colson. Oh, see, this is what Manly's doing wrong. They're trying to do silly things inside their own 22. Not only that time was inside their own 10. And fortunately for them, they haven't paid the dearest penalty of all yet. But they're building it for themselves. Here's Gerard. Gerard, can he get it away? It's gone off the shoulder of Howe. And it's gone forward. Knock-ons both ways, he says. And another scrum to go down. Well, Manly's got the breeze at their back. Why they don't use the breeze and get out of this danger zone is beyond me.
They could be 15, 16 points behind. The only thing they've got going in their favour is that Penrith, through probably over-exuberance, have been coming up with a number of handling mistakes when tries have been in the offing.
Well, there's Cochrane down in the scrum. It's a penalty to Penrith. Mal Cochrane packed in with the loose arm. And it was obvious to all and sundry.
Well, there's just over a minute and 50 seconds to go before half-time, and I've got a feeling this is going to be the longest minute and 50 seconds that Manly have ever experienced.
There's Goodway to play the ball now. Goodwin playing the ball now. It's Simmons, and this is Gerard towards the line. He's about 5 metres back from it now. As Simmons turns it around the back to Alexander. Hasler's got him wrapped up. A head-to-head confrontation between two of the game's very best halfbacks, Alexander and Hasler. And that's the third tackle as it goes to Royce Simmons. Across now for Burns. He cuts out. Wolf finds Izzard. And Izzard is tackled about 15 metres out from the line. 1 minute and 15 seconds of the first half to go as Zivanovic takes it back towards the 10-metre line. 5 tackles gone. Dummy half is Clements. They come back to the blind side. Alexander puts up the bomb. And there's a chance here. It's come off the hands of Manly players and gone over the dead ball line. This was the bomb. Marty Gurr got right up above them. He couldn't take it. And then it was raked over the dead ball line by Stuart Davis. 40 seconds of the first half to go. Manly taking their time with the line dropout. It's Cleo sending it deep. So Penrith will probably just take it back if they are aware of the time. And kicked as Lobb does. It's been taken by Gurr. The tackle made by Robinson. Davis. The siren only a matter of a few seconds away. This is Goodway outside the 22 line. And look at that forehead of Lou Zivanovic. The second bandage on it. And still the blood pouring through it. It's been a gutsy effort by Lou Zivanovic as the siren sounds in the background. Penrith leading Manly by 4 points to 0. A try to Brett Lobb. Graham Hughes, the walking wounded have surrendered apparently. They can't carry on, and Bobby Fulton's made 3 changes. Is that right?
Yes, 3 changes. Luluai is off. On in his place in 15 is Tony Melrose. Also Glenn Ryan is off. Paul McCabe on in 23. And Mal Cochrane, who I would suggest has probably succumbed to that groin strain. Ray Brown on in 25. I don't think he's searching for the panic button, Bobby Fulton, but it's nice to have 100% fit players out there.
So Brad Izzard replies to the Tony Melrose kickoff. And this is Marty Gurr coming back with it. I can assure you that Paul McCabe and Ray Brown will give of their very best, but of the trio of freshmen, you reckon Tony Melrose won't be giving this his best shot? He was the only player to feel the wrath of the selectors.
As Vaughton goes into an opening, Hasler supports him. He's away from Alexander. He's over there, beating Lobb inside the 22. Picks up Cleo, gets it to Close. Close gets away from Gonzalez easily. And Close is in to score for the Eagles. Well, there was some great support work there from Manly, particularly Des Hasler. But heavens above, this try, it looked like it should have been snuffed out on at least 3 occasions.
Goodwin was the first to be beaten. Hasler beat Alexander. Hasler was too good for the fullback lob. Robinson had 2 bites at the cherry. Cleal got his pass down to Close, and Close gets rid of Ben Gonzalez easily. So several Penrith players must hang their head in shame.
This try was a great combination of some brilliant individual efforts, such as this one by Hasler to make the split after after Vaughton had broken the line, but also some tremendous interchange passing. See here the ball from Cleal, a great pick-up by Close. He was able to shrug off the defence, went over in the corner, and then came round to improve his position. And that try has got Manly right back into the match.
Sure has. Here it is from a different angle.
Grouping back on their end of the paddock. And as Tony Melrose takes the kick from 12 metres in, and he's got it! Good kick, Tony Melrose. 6 points to 4 in favour of Manly now. Gonzalez. Clements. Little dummy half runs. They've gone out now to within 10 metres of the halfway. Simmons. Goodwin. He's had the ball taken from him. A penalty goes to Penrith. It's against McCabe. So 3 times in recent minutes we've seen Manly giving away penalties and Penrith coming down to take the tap in a danger zone for Manly now. Izzard limping a little. Here's Gerard just outside the 22. There's Izzard on camera. Goodwin up to the quarter line. Izzard's the player I do feel that is going to finish up getting this ball when the actual plan unfolds. Here's Alexander. It's a penalty to Penrith. Oh, this is going to be easy for them. Right in front, 10 metres out. They don't come simpler. Alexander makes no mistakes, and that's the equaliser in the playoff. 6 points all, Penrith and Manly. Vaughton coming up on the blind side, very close to the line, Vaughton. He's a metre out. Dummy half McCabe might go himself. Long ball out to Goodway. 5 metres from the line. Hasler, Melrose, Close, taken by Izzard, but he got rid of Izzard. Burns has to make the tackle with Alexander. That's Brown. Shearer, 9 metres from the line. Melrose, the bomb, a test for Robinson. Plenty of pressure on him. It's come down and Manly's on it, but it's been forced, I do believe, by Gary Howell, the Penrith number 9. That's how the referee has ruled. And here it is on another angle. And now it's Fenton. Fenton! 15 metres out from the line. 6 points all, Penrith and Manly. Gerard, held by Vaughton and Paulson. 12 metres from the line. Penrith running towards the Bradman stand into the ground. Across to Alexander, back to Burns. He shows it, goes himself. Still about 15 metres out. 5 tackles gone for the Panthers. Craig Izzard in 25, the dummy half. Alexander. puts the bomb up. Pressure for Marty Gurr, and it'll be a line dropout. Well, he's an old-timer at this caper, Marty Gurr. One of the safest in the game.
Well, Ray, only 16 minutes left on the clock. 6-all the scoreline. I wonder when somebody's going to wake up here, especially Penrith. They've got the first opportunity just to work away at the goal post. Don't try and do anything fancy and set up either Izzard or Alexander for a field goal.
It looks very much like that might be what they're doing right here with Craig Izzard, 11 metres out from the line. Played back to Alexander. Out it goes to Royce Simmons. No, they're coming out towards the sidelines, and this is Goodwin. Goodwin working back towards the middle. Now it's with Jeff Gerard. They've passed it about 8 times, but they've gone backwards. And this is Brett Lobb who's tackled 20 metres out on tackle number 5. Back it goes to Greg Alexander. He's holding it back. He floats it out. Robinson flick passes to another Robinson, then to Fenton, back to Craig Izzard. He sees the line. He goes for it. Failed by a metre. Oh!
Well, Noel Cleal mightn't make too many tackles in a match, but he'll never make a more important one than that.
Well, who's going to be the game breaker? Steve Robinson, Ken Wolfe, anticipated and met by Noel Cleal. Another replacement getting ready for the Panthers. This is Steve Robinson. Yes, Graham.
Tony Trudgett in 19. He'll be going on for Greg Clements.
Well, he's certainly got the experience, Tony Trudgett. Jeff Gerard plays it on 5, 32 metres out from the Manly line. Alexander goes for the drop goal, but he left it too late. It's going through Brad Izzard, and Marty Gurr's tackled. Gurr will play it 2 metres out from his line. This is Davis trying to escape the defence, but he's tackled on the second, 9 metres out from the Manly line. Here's Dale Shearer now, tackled on the third. Clements getting back into the line. He's not 100%. This is Goodway, 20 metres out. That's the 4th tackle. Manly and Penrith locked together at 6 points all. 10 minutes to go in the match as Paul McCabe is tackled on 5. Brown spears it back for the Melrose kick. He can't. Gurr does. And down it goes towards the sideline on the showground side for Brett Lobb to take it back now. Jolting tackle by Dale Shearer. Alexander has got to go himself shortly. These fellows that he's giving the ball to, many of them are so tired they can hardly pick their feet up. And here's a penalty to Penrith. 3 metres into Manly's territory against Cleal for stealing the ball. There's the replay of the incident that brought the penalty. Now the tackle's been well and truly made there, and the ball was stolen after that all happened. Trudgett has gone on, and Greg Clements has come off, and Alexander takes the kick for line. And wouldn't Tim Sheens wish that he had a kicker with the distance of a Conlon or an O'Connor at that point of this playoff semi-final, with the wind and 48 metres out right in front.
Wouldn't he also wish he could put old heads on young bodies, because there's no decision to make here. They've just got to work the play in towards the goalpost and kick a field goal.
Well, there is the experience out there to make those decisions or suggestions, but obviously they're too busy. They're too busy with their head up and their... there's the go now. There's the kick. Royce Simmons it was. No goal. This is Warren Fenton. Back for Simmons, across for Goodwin. Goodwin. Still about 5 metres into Manly's area. Simmons, the referee got in the road, but he said play on. Here's Steve Robinson tackled. 10 metres into Manly's area. Away to Alexander. There's the kick by him. Into the opening behind Bowstead and Gurr. Alexander's coming fast. Bowstead. Oh, it came off Bowstead's knee. It'll be a line dropout. Well, Bowstead was prepared to gamble. He was playing Russian roulette with Alexander. And watch this. Watch it closely. And it came off the knee of Kerry Bowstead. So a line dropout for Noel Cleal. Coming down towards Brad Izzard. He's had a quiet second half. We're convinced that he did some damage about 25 minutes into the first. A Cross to his brother Craig, and now here's Tony Trudgett, the former St George pivot. Out the back door to Jeff Gerard. Gerard's 18 metres from the Manly line. Will they give it a shot this time?
Crazy if they don't.
Here's Roy Simmons now. They're burrowing their way. One way, then the other. 5-minute markers on the board. As it goes out to Greg Alexander. He runs, he passes. It's out to Ben Gonzalez, and he could go into touch here. He's tackled. A metre inside the touchline. Back to Greg Alexander, Steve Robinson, Tony Trudgett. Long ball out now for Kenny Wolf. Wolf's over on the 22 line. Mark Robinson is tackled. Just inside that touchline on the opposite side of the ground. Back it goes for Trudgett. Over to Alexander. There it goes. Has he got it? Watching the referee, but no goal. Back to the 22 for the restart again. Here it was. A hurried attempt by Alexander across the face of the uprights. But they're leaving it too long, in my opinion. They're going for the drop goal on the predictable tackle, like 5 and 6. They should be going for it on the more unorthodox of the set of 6, like 2 or 3 or probably 4. They were in position for it there early on the third tackle. They went to the left on 4, they went to the right on 5, and they finished up with nothing. Here's Des Hasler now. Getting it to Close. Close away to Gurr. Gurr comes to the halfway. Gets it to Dale Shearer. He's on the halfway line now. 10 minutes extra each way if it's a draw, and it's looking very much like that is going to be the case. Melrose gets it back to Chris Close. Penrith with Craig Izzard underneath, and Matt Goodwin over the top. 5 tackles to go. Melrose, I beg your pardon, 5 tackles gone as Melrose kicks. It's going to go. No, it's not. Gonzalez is going to have to take it out. Bosted's chasing him. Bosted's after him. He gets away from Bosted. He's back into the field of play, Gonzalez. Good work by him. Good chase by Bosted. Well, a thriller minute here at the cricket ground before another very good nighttime crowd. Ball played by Wolf, and this is Trudgett. 20 metres out. Fenton. Goodwin. Good driving tackle by Paulson. Gonzalez getting some treatment at the back of the play is Alexander. He kicks. It's gone down to Gurr inside the 22. Gurr goes back urgently in the end goal. Not messing about with it this time. And out he comes. In and around and away, but Craig Izzard makes the tackle. 20 metres from the Manly line. Bosted passes. It's gone over to Des Hasler. And Hasler, who started the match with his right thigh heavily strapped, is tackled. Minus that strapping. It's been gone for quite some time now, but several of these Manly players, it was well publicised, went into the match injured, and it's really a credit to some of them that they've gotten this far into the game. Some of them are quite obviously limping and hobbling their way towards the full-time siren, only to be told you've got to go 10 minutes extra each way in the event of a draw. Shades of 78 for Manly. I wonder, are they being revisited here as we watch this playoff at the cricket ground on this Tuesday night? Brett Lobb goes out from his 10-metre line and is tackled by Dale Shearer and Paul McCabe. Dummy half Greg Alexander looking at players around him, almost saying, who wants it? And this is Mark Robinson through an opening, still going, picks up Goodwin. Goodwin gallops over the halfway, that high that he could almost feel that it was impossible to pick his feet up. Alexander to Trudgett, Trudgett to Kenny Wolf. Wolf is tackled 32 metres out from the Manly line. Hasler's limping. Gurr looks like he's wounded. It's gone across to Alexander. Wide onto Steve Robinson. Loose on the ground for Craig Izzard. Comes to Noel Cleal, and he's bundled into the ground by Cleal. Played again. Spun across for Brad Izzard. He goes for the drop goal. It's bounced missed and been touched, I believe, by Manly, so there'll be a line dropout.
Oh, Marty Gurr wasn't aware of that. Marty thought that the Penrith player had put the ball dead without the touch. He was going back to the 22 dropout. He had plenty of opportunities to fill the ball in goal, but didn't.
Well, the referee immediately called it. There's the siren in the background. The siren has sounded, and so they'll switch around for 10 minutes extra each way at 6 points all. Can one of the champion sides of the modern era, Manly, make the semi-finals, or will Penrith make it for the very first time? Match comment, Graham Hughes.
Well, Ray, a couple of interesting points to note here. In that second half, Penrith, of course, had Manly pinned in their own half for the last 20 minutes. They dominated possession. They couldn't come up with the points to secure the win for the game and find that place in the semi-finals. You've got to pay tribute to it. A magnificent defensive performance by Manly at this stage. Also, let's remember that Penrith have already used up their 4 replacements. Manly 3, they've still got 1 up their sleeve.
Dale Shearer.
Just wondering where that man Blake is these days. Is he still, is he well?
He's still injured.
Oh, is he?
I was just going to say, we'd love to have him sitting up there in the bleachers.
I think he would have been well and truly on in this match.
The kick by Melrose, they're the right tactics. Now you've got to tackle Manly and keep them down here and wait till you get the ball back. Gonzalez. Tackled by Bowstead. One keeps getting the impression, or I do, it's probably a pessimistic outlook from a Penrith point of view, but experience will probably prevail in this match. And when it comes down to that, on a scale out of 10, it rates about 9-2 in favour of Manly. Good one to play it.
And if you look in the back play, the sweeper for Manly, Des Hasler, he's playing on one leg, and I think he's a demonstration of just what Manly courage is tonight. He's limped virtually since the first 20 minutes of this match, but he hasn't stopped.
Here's Gerard. Back it goes for Alexander. Alexander sweeps it away to Trudgett. He's into an opening. He's gone 10. He's got Hasler. Got him. Oh, that's a great tackle, Des Hasler. You had to be watching Hasler. As Bill was talking, he is absolutely out on one foot. And here goes Terry Bowstead. Bowstead chased by Alexander. And Alexander makes the tackle on Bowstead. There's Hasler. Look at him. He's only out there on one leg, and yet he was able to make a try-saving tackle on Tony Trudgett. That was the tackle of the game. Gerard is down injured for Penrith now. And as Graham pointed out, there's Cleo. Cleo, 18 metres out, gets the pass away. Brown, back to Paulson. Paulson tackled 10 metres from the line. McCabe, it was, correction. Back to Vaughton, now to Melrose. Holds it back, looks to get rid of it, but is pulled down by Tony Trudgett. Gerard back on his feet. That's about all though. Vaughton goes for the drop, and Paul Vaughton, I do believe, has kicked it. Yes, Vaughton has landed the drop goal. Well, Captain Courageous, Paul Vaughton, got his chance and made no mistake. Manly 7, Penrith 6. So off goes Des Hasler. A tremendous performance by the Manly number 7 to last as long as he did. What a good player he is. Even the Penrith bench was there to applaud Des Hasler as he left the ground. McCabe. Brown. Melrose. Lobb will be tempted to let this go. And it will come out to the 22 for the restart. Well, 90 years is a long time to wait for a semi-final berth. And to wait 19 years and to be denied by 1 point. And that is going to be a very bitter pill for Tim Sheens, his players and fans to accept. But that is certainly not the final comment yet, as we see the clock showing 4.5 minutes of this match in the first half of replay time to go. Goodwin now. Brad Izzard's kick, not a bad looking kick. It stabs and goes to the left. And so the scrum will go down about 18 metres out from the Manly line. Tony Melrose it was who fed that scrum. Here's Rogers. Now Goodway. Paulson. Brown's pass off. Taken on the bounce by Wolf. So Penrith have got the ball 35 metres out from the Manly line. Through Gerard, who can't raise a gallop at the moment. Fenton to Brad Izzard, stepping, weaving to the 22, picks up Mark Robinson. Mark Robinson tackled. Desperate stuff by the Panthers. They're 13 metres out from the line. Alexander lets go. He's tackled by Marty Gurr. Manly players waiting for help on the left. Played back to Simmons. Across through, it's gone from Steve Robinson to Brad Izzard. And Izzard is pulled down by Vorton. Dummy half Gonzalez. 3 metres out from the line. Gonzalez tries to go himself on a very narrow blindside. 5 tackles gone. Alexander to dummy half. It's gone through to Fenton. Wide to Steve Robinson. He was pulled down. He'll have to give the penalty. He does. Paul McCabe or Andy Goodway was it? Let's check it. It looks like Goodway. But I thought it was McCabe, and it was McCabe in jumper 23. And so Greg Alexander will take a penalty kick at goal that could well see Penrith in their first semi-final.
Yeah. Billy Anderson just giving me a mathematical lesson here at the same time. I said 6.5 torturous minutes. There's 10 minutes in the second half, so it's more than that. It's 11.5 minutes. He kicks it! Alexander kicks the penalty. 8 points to 7. Jubilation for the brown and whites. The Alpha Micros are in front by a point. So here comes this lanky winger, Mark Robinson, and he's been hit in ramrod fashion by Richie Paulson. Fenton. 30 metres out from the Penrith line. Alexander. Goodwin. 32 out from their line now. Gerard. Back for Fenton and for Simmons. And away for Gonzalez. Gonzalez almost to the halfway. A very tired Paul Vorton and Noel Cleal making the tackle. Simmons from dummy half, and Cleal's got hold of him and throws him to the ground. Ball taken away from him. Fenton runs with the ball inside the 32. 5 tackles gone. And there's the changeover. 10 minutes to go as they spin around. Penrith 8, Manly 7. But you wouldn't swap it for quids, would you? Particularly if you haven't been in a semi-final in your club's history of 19 years. This is Brett Lobb. A crowd in excess of 16,000 people here. Again giving a vote of approval to nighttime football as Alexander punches the ball into a vacant space. Bowstead pursues, and he'll have to take it back, Kerry. Wrapped up and put on the ground by Stevie Robinson.
Away for Tony Melrose to Darren Rogers. Everybody's been used. 17 players per side. Melrose. There goes the Manly chant now. Good way. 10 metres his side of the halfway. Away and across for Paul McKay. Close from dummy half to the halfway. 5 gone for Manly. They're running into the breeze for the second half of the playoff time. That kick going into the in goal, and again Gonzalez brings it back. He started looking like a professional sprinter. The way he brought it out, he could have passed for a Clydesdale. Wingers have become forwards, and forwards have become pedestrian. 8-7 Penrith. It may not be a match to have pleased the purists, but I'll tell you what, if you belong to the excitement machine, then you would have loved this one. This is Tony Trudgeon. Fenton. Fenton! Almost like a snake getting through the Manly defence. Simmons. Goodwin. Alexander. The big kick down the middle of the ground. Or not so much to the middle as to the flank. And it's beaten Gurr to the touchline, but you don't really say beaten anybody to the sidelines these days. The fullbacks, unless they can get a clean grab at it, would prefer to let it go. And that's exactly what Marty Gurr did then. The scrum will go down 9 metres out from the Manly line. Look to you, Graham. You're closer than I am.
Well, just watching that kick, and again on the replay on the big screen out here, Ray, and Marty Gurr was struggling to get to that.
Alexander to Izzard. Away it goes, loose to lob. Picked up by Steve Robinson. Alexander, Fenton. Fenton. 10 metres out from the Manly line.
Penrith just looking like they can score a try to seal this.
And it's going to be a Penrith penalty. Penrith penalty, and again the offender is Paul McKay. Well, he's pinched McKay for interfering with Fenton, who was going to play the ball forward. Let's have a look at this incident again. There was a player obstructing that head on camera. Let's see it again now. Yeah, that's what he's got him for. See that? McCabe didn't really do anything to Fenton, except he put his hand on his leg when Fenton was going to try and play the ball forward. Here's the angle for Greg Alexander. Coming down off the Bradman stand scoreboard. There's his kick. Look at it. Beautiful, isn't it? He's got it, Greg Alexander. Penrith leading by 10-7. Manly has to score a try. They've got 5.5 minutes to do it in. Timmy Jeans, I think you've done it. Davey Bolton, fair dinkum, I've never seen him smoke so many cigarettes. He's doing a Harry Bath here at the cricket ground, Davey Bolton. So Penrith, with Steve Robinson coming out to the 22. Unfortunately, what will be lost probably from the memories of people far too quickly, if Manly do go out here, will be the gallantry. There's the 5-minute marker on your screen. The gallant efforts by many of these Manly players who went into the game wounded. And some will say they should never have been in the team, but heavens above, it'll be hard for Bobby Fulton to think about leaving the experienced campaigners out of this team tonight against the Penrith team. Everything's bouncing beautiful for Penrith now. The kick finding touch just outside the 22. We're inside the 5, and Alexander has made the knock-on behind the scrum. He's saying it went backwards, sir. So Manly have to score a try. Fed by Tony Melrose. Vaughton playing 5/8. Darren Rogers packing into the scrum. And this Manly side now, not even the faintest resemblance to the team that took the ground. So heavy has the injury toll been. Last Sunday and again today. Penalty against Jeff Gerard for not getting off Darren Rogers. And it's just what the doctor ordered as far as Manly's concerned. They probably have got one pet move up their sleeve. One that they would dearly love to win a match in a sticky situation like this one is in. So here's the second tackle, and Cleal it is, working the blind. Inside the 5, probably down to 3 minutes now. Melrose, Vaughton just got it before it hit the ground. All Penrith have to do is tackle. McCabe across to Cleal, and the big man gets a ball away, but Goodway can't take it. It's there for Penrith to pick up, and that probably is the last throw of the dice for Manly. I can see Penrith trainers on the sideline giving indications to the players. How long to go? Look at that. 2 minutes to go. Hang in there, they're saying. Come on, let's go. We can do it. It'll take an unbelievable performance, a superhuman performance really for Manly to get out of this. They've got to score a 4-pointer. That would seem impossible, for 75% of them can hardly run. Izzard back to Trudgett, slipping on the cricket pitch. 8 metres into Manly's area. 5 tackles gone. Back to the playmaker Alexander. And again Marty Gurr confronted with this bouncing ball in the in goal. Gurr tackled 5 metres out from his line. Davis beyond the 10-metre line. It looks very much now as though it's going to be the battle of the Westerners on Saturday. The Eels and the Panthers, and there'll be nobody, let me tell you, nobody. Here's Davis. Davis cut down by Brett Lobb, whose legs have cramped up. It's gone to Melrose, to Shearer, through Rogers, through Goodway, McCabe, Vaughton to Bowstead, McCabe, inside, intercepted by Steve Robinson. I was about to make the comment, there would be nobody, but nobody that Penrith would rather beat in a semi-final than Big Brother Parramatta. The Penrith trainers now with one finger in the air. 1 minute to go. Here's Roy Simmons. He'll have a smile on his face like a split watermelon, Simmons. As I said earlier, he, together with blokes like Zavanovic, they've been there almost as long as the Three Sisters have stood proudly at Katoomba. With this very young Penrith side, as I said earlier, a couple of grandfathers amongst them. He said, affectionately speaking, and one of the real champion clubs of the modern era, looking like they're going out in the playoff. The siren must be seconds away. Davis tackled inside the 22 line. There'll be a big roar go up here from the Penrith fans in a matter of seconds. Goodway held inside his 22. There's the siren, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the jubilation and the emotion. They're hugging, embracing, I think even kissing each other. The Panthers of Penrith have made their first semi-final in the Sydney Rugby League Premiership ever. 19 years they've waited, 19 years in the queue. And finally they've come to the front of the line.
6-7 victory to the Panthers. Lob a try. Alexander 3 goals. For Manly, closer try. Melrose a goal. And Vaughton a drop goal.